You are important. You play a vital and critical role in our society. You play a vital and critical role in our communities. And you play a vital and critical role in the life of every young person you work with. You, the seasonal recreation professional, play a vital role. What do you mean? You are an integral part of helping to build the citizen of tomorrow. Now, that role is not yours exclusively, but recreation departments and its programming help build the citizen of tomorrow. Parents, educators, recreation departments, youth sports coaches, and other advocates for kids help build the citizen of tomorrow. You see, that's what you do every day. I hadn't thought of it that way. I know, I want you to think of it that way. And summer camp is an incredible vehicle in helping to build the citizen of tomorrow. In summer camp, kids learn new skills, they try new activities, and you know what? They have extended time with people who care about them, people like you. And any time a kid has extended periods with people who care about them, there's an opportunity to change a life. That's right. You have an opportunity to positively impact a life this summer. So my challenge to you this summer, will you pick out a kid and help him be a little bit better at the end of the summer than they were at the beginning? That's the challenge, a summer to change a life. So where does this summer to change a life concept come from? Well, frankly, it came from my own life. I saw how summer camp could make an impact. I spent most of my summers as a kid with no parents living from home to home. I spent most of my summers in summer camps, and whether that was just a drop-in camp or whether that was an organized athletic camp, they had a tremendous impact on me. One specific summer with a lady named Leslie Agnew. Miss Agnew used wiffle ball, and she used arts and crafts, and she used just general time of hanging out to build me as a young person. She started instilling in me the qualities and attributes that I have today. She built my self-esteem and self-worth, and you know what? She helped me believe in who I could be, and I've ended up what I should be. Then as a camp counselor myself, as a young professional, spending summer times working with kids, I realized that I had extended periods of time with them, and I could get to know them, I could build trust with them, and then once trust was built, I could speak into their lives. And then as an advocate for youth, opening youth centers and starting programs all around the world, I realized that in summer camp, we could really change a life. If we're to take on the challenge of impacting a young person this summer, if we're to take on the challenge and are going to change a life in 80 to 100 days, then the first ingredient is belief. It's a powerful, powerful tool in our battle against drugs, gangs, alcohol, abuse, neglect, poverty, and ignorance. It's a powerful tool. You say, I suggest that to you that belief is a tool. It has a power in it. Truth be told, you had somebody that believed in you, and it made a difference and an impact. You know, most studies show that the difference between a kid making it and not making it often is one individual who believes in them. Believes in them. I had a coach like that. I had a coach that believed in me. His name was Bill Bell. Coach Bill Bell believed in me. And you know what he taught me one day? He taught me that 70 billion people had lived on the planet. And out of those 70 billion people who have lived or are living on the planet, he taught me that I was a rare and unique one. He told me there had never been anybody like me and that there never would be anybody like me. That I was a rare and unique creature with incredible talent and ability. He taught me that my brain, my fingerprints, my DNA, that I was different and special. 70 billion and one rare and unique one. He taught me that I was priceless. Now look at this. Every one of those kids that you deal with and interact with, they're priceless. They're one of 70 billion people who have lived on the planet. There's nobody like them. And you have the opportunity, you have the ability to give away that gift of belief. But will you believe in a kid? Will you stand with a kid that no one else will stand with? Will you stand with the kid that no one else will hang out with? Will you give the gift of belief to that kid? You see, it's funny. When I give that gift away, the return is immeasurable. Because sometimes kids don't see their talent. They don't see their ability. They don't see their potential. But you do. You have the opportunity to call that out in them, You have the opportunity to pull that out in them. You have the opportunity to recognize their talent. But will you? If you're going to impact a life this summer, the capacity to see the potential within a kid, the capacity to give that gift of belief away is critical. Believe in a kid this summer. If we're really going to impact a life this summer, if we're going to use 80 to 100 days to change a life, the second ingredient, the power of choice. I'd suggest, and I'd ask you to thoughtfully consider, that every thought that you think, every word that you speak, and every action that you take plants a seed. And because summer camp, we have the opportunity to spend extended time with young people, to build relationship and trust with young people. It provides us the opportunity to plant seeds into their life. First, our thoughts. In a courtroom, you can't sit in the seat of advocacy and the seat of judgment at the same time. They're two separate roles. Oftentimes I hear people say, I advocate for kids, I'm for kids, but at the same time they judge kids. You can't judge a kid and advocate for a kid at the same time. It's not possible in a courtroom to sit in both of those seats, and it's not possible to do that in a summer program, to both advocate and judge. So what thoughts are you thinking about those kids? If the kid smells, or if they come from a family that you find to be offensive, or if they listen to a certain music or dress a certain way, if you're judging that kid, there's no way you can advocate for that kid. So it all starts with the thoughts that we have for those kids, the way we see them. Leslie Agnew, she saw what I could be, I've ended up what I should be. Are you judging or advocating? What thought will you choose? Secondly, the words that I speak. Words have incredible power. We all heard this. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You know what? I broke my collarbone. I ripped my Achilles tendon in half. But neither one of those injuries hurt me as bad as some of the words that were spoken to me by adults. What words will you use this summer? Will you use words? Will you choose to use words that lift kids up? Will you choose to use words that build and encourage? Great job, way to go. Hey man, that was awesome. That's a wonderful try. Hey, you know what? You're gonna do it. Hey, I see something in you. Will you make sure that this summer, every day you'll choose to build at least one kid up with your words? At least one kid. The power of choosing your words to build. Never use words that will tear down. And frankly, never ever get a laugh out of a kid's expense. We've all been there, in the vehicle on the way to the off-site activity, or in the gym, or on the playground, and there's an opportunity to get a big laugh at a kid's expense, and we take that opportunity, and everybody laughs except the one kid. Only use words that will build. And then finally, we have a power to choose our actions. I walked into a site one time. I saw one guy on a text. He was texting away as he leaned against the wall. I saw a gal on the cell phone, all while the kids were playing. No one was using the time and the opportunity to take and choose their actions to instill self-esteem, use their actions to instill self-worth, or to teach a new skill, or just to hang out and build trust. What will you choose to do with your actions? First of all, you're going to choose to be in the right frame of mind. You're going to choose your words, and you're going to choose your actions. Here's some actions that you could choose. One action that you could choose, being prepared. Another action you could choose, being supportive. Another action you could choose, looking like a fool. The first one, being prepared. Know the rules, know the policies, know the procedures. Secondly, choose to be supportive. Get your coworkers back, they're going to get yours. They're going to have a bad day, you get their back. You have a bad day, they'll get your back. And then finally, choose to look like a fool. What do you mean by that? Hey, the only way we're going to get kids to try new games or new activities is if we do it with our whole heart and we look foolish. You've been at the site. The kids only want to play that one game 24/7. The only way we're going to get them to try a new activity or a new game or a new arts and craft is if we step in and give it our whole heart. Well, that means we might look foolish. Every thought that I think, every word that I speak, every action that I take plants a seed. If we're really going to make a difference this summer, we have to understand the power of choice. The third key ingredient to making an impact this summer, responsibility. understanding our responsibility. When you take on this role of a seasonal recreation professional, and whether you've been doing it for 25 years as your part-time summer job, or whether this is your first summer back from college and this is going to be your job, or whether you're a leader in training, it doesn't matter. You have an incredible responsibility. You see, you have somebody's most prized possession in your hands. You have their kid. There's a reason why we have protocol, and there's a reason why we have policies. There's a reason why we count every kid onto the bus and why we count every kid off of the bus. There's a reason why we follow these procedures. The truth is, yes, there are bad people in the world. And we read story after story after story of tragedy that befalls a child. We also know that accidents are preventable. We also know that we can mitigate the risk of a kid getting hurt. It's our responsibility. Now, I know you don't make $1 million. I know that you probably are never going to get your name on the side of a building. But I also know this, you have somebody's prized possession in your care. If we're going to make a difference this summer, if we're going to change a life this summer, then we must take to heart our responsibility. So here's my challenge to you. Know your policies, know your procedures. Know what to do if there's an emergency. And hopefully, there'll never be an emergency, but be prepared just in case there is one. Understand your responsibility to support your teammates and provide a safe and secure environment. Have your head on a swivel. If somebody walks into the site that you've never seen before, doesn't look like one of the parents, don't be afraid to walk up and say, "May I help you?" That's not inappropriate. You do it in a kind and hospitable way, but "May I help you? Why are you here around these kids?" Responsibility. If we're going to really change a life this summer, we'll understand, take to heart our responsibility. The fourth and final ingredient, if we're really going to change a life this summer, is commitment. We're not digging ditches. We're not laying tar on a hot roof. I know that. But it does take a level of commitment because it takes a level of focus to work with 20, 30, 40, 50 kids or how many ever you have at your site. It can be nerve-wracking. But I would suggest to you the reward is great. And it takes a significant commitment to stay focused every day. I always refer to it as a chicken and a pig, involved and committed. It's like a chicken and a pig in a bacon and egg breakfast. The chicken is involved, the pig is committed. In other words, that analogy means this: are we going to be willing to give our all? Give our all. Each day, for 80 to 100 days, will I be completely focused on the task at hand? Will I be fully engaged in the young people, not distracted by what I have to do later in the day, not distracted from the night before, but will I be fully engaged in the young people? I'll know you're committed when you go to the internet in your off time and type in best practices in summer program arts and crafts, or best practices in summer activities, or best practices in camp programs. Well, that's a supervisor's job. That's why they're getting paid. Hey, you know what? Committed means that you'll become as familiar and educated as you possibly can. And in that staff meeting, that weekly staff meeting, you'll have an idea. Commitment means that instead of getting out of there right on time, you'll clean up and you'll help pick up. Commitment means that you'll do all that you can to help a young person. Now here's my challenge to you. My challenge to you is just pick out one person. Commit to just one young person this summer. So, chicken or the pig, bacon and egg breakfast. The chicken is involved, the pig is committed because the pig gives their all. Will you give your all this summer? Will you be fully engaged and present this summer? Will you be focused and committed to changing a kid's life this summer? I did this video for one reason and one reason alone. You're important. Today, young people battle against drugs and gangs and alcohol, abuse, neglect, poverty, and ignorance, and you're on the front line of helping to win that battle. You play a vital, critical, and important role in our society. You're an integral part of helping to build the citizen of tomorrow. And the vehicle called summer camp provides an incredible opportunity to help develop a young person. You're going to build a trusting relationship with them, and you're going to help move them a little bit closer to their full potential, and you're going to help effectively build the citizen of tomorrow. How are you going to do that? You're going to believe in them. You're going to use that gift called belief, and you're going to give it away. You're going to plant seeds through the power of choice. You're going to plant with your thoughts, you're going to plant with your words, and you're going to plant with your actions seeds that would build a young person. You're going to understand your responsibility, that you have a prized possession, the most prized possession that anybody could ever have, somebody's kid in your hands. And that it's your responsibility to provide a safe environment where they're protected at all times. And whether that's at the risk of some crazy predator or at the risk of an unforeseen or preventable accident, you still have the responsibility for safety and security. And finally, you're going to commit to be engaged and fully engaged each and every day into those young people. Now, here's what I know for a fact. I know for a fact if you'll pick out one kid, just one, and utilize those 4 ingredients to their utmost, you will definitely make a positive impact in a kid this summer. Now, this video is going to be heard by thousands of recreation professionals all across the United States and all across North America. We're sending this to every department that we possibly can. Why? Because you're important. And I know if you'll take these 4 ingredients and utilize them to the fullest, you will absolutely make a difference. No, I didn't say you'd change the whole big bad world. I didn't say you'd solve global warming. I didn't say you'd take care of the Middle East crisis or the financial meltdown. But I know this, you'll make a significant difference in a young person's life. And what's the ripple effect of that? That's the opportunity and potential that you have. And frankly, that's the power that you have as well. I hope you'll take on the challenge of using 80 to 100 days, a summer, to change a life. Take care, everybody.